Hello, and welcome to the E with J Scholars. This will be an overview of the program, what you need to know about it, and the people who will help you. So first, about the E with J partnership. The partnership includes ESU joining up with Jam Hill Elementary. The goal of this is to have ESU students tutor Jam Hill at-risk students. This partnership also includes a spring tech night and a math tutoring program. For the purposes here though, we're going to focus on the literacy portion. Our target students are in grades 3 through 5. As just mentioned, these students are at risk. That simply means that they are students who are more likely to fail or fall behind academically due to their circumstances. These circumstances are usually socioeconomic in nature. As just touched upon, our program has three main components. We have an after-school literacy tutoring program, a family and technology night, and math tutoring in class. For the literacy tutoring, we have the WebQuest. Students go through the WebQuest and learn about specific social or political issues and how they can make change happen. For family and technology nights, we have ESU student volunteers and teachers at JM Hill work together to prepare projects and showcases of those projects for parents to see how their students are using technology in the classroom and how they can even do it at home. Lastly, we have the math tutoring component. This is simply in-class tutoring. Usually we have roughly 1 to 2 tutors per math class. They help the instructor with the lessons, and they give extra attention to students who might be falling behind so that the whole class isn't held back. Discussion. How do you think that we can benefit the students at JM Hill? What can you, as tutors, gain from working at JM Hill? Take some time to think about these questions. Your answers will probably change by the end of the tutoring. Our main goal with the E with J program is to work with JM Hill to the mutual benefit of both the tutors and the tutored. This comes from a body of service learning literature which shows the benefits of having students work in an academic setting with an at-risk population. The hope here is that it will challenge and affect both parties in positive ways. The second component is to give the students a new perspective through consistent reflection on an analysis of views and biases regarding poverty and the circumstances that create it. Lastly, it provides invaluable educational and problem-solving experience. Currently, the key players in the program are, from East Stroudsburg University, Dr. Sockman, who handles the literacy and tech nights, Dr. Watkins, who handles the literacy and has helped design the WebQuest training program, Dr. Sutton, who also works on the literacy program and is actually responsible for founding it, and Dr. Wilson, who's involved with the math portion. Lastly, you, the students, are also a key player in this process. It's you who do the tutoring, and you who make sure that the sessions run smoothly. On the J.M. Hill Elementary side, we have Michelle Arnold, who is the principal of the school. We also have the teachers and staff. They are the ones who make the math program possible by volunteering their classrooms, and they also help with the tech nights. Additionally, they provide feedback on the students and how they're performing in literacy so we can better design our program. And lastly, but definitely not least, we have their parents and the students. They provide valuable feedback and input. Here are some facts on local poverty that you might not have known about in East Stroudsburg and the Monroe County area. According to 2009 and 2013 through 2013 census statistics, there are 18% of the entire population of East Stroudsburg Borough is below the poverty level. That's both higher than the Monroe County and the statewide rate. The per capita income is $20,062. In Monroe County, there's a high unemployment rate. It's also higher than the state's, at 6.2%. From 2001 to 2009, the number of local students at or near the poverty line increased by 76%. For more information on childhood poverty, we encourage you to do some of your own reading. Linked below is an article from the Pocono Record, but there are plenty of sources to analyze the effects of childhood poverty and track them over the last few years, especially during the recession. Specifically at J.M. Hill, in academics, the students there are in the 70th percentile in reading, the 66th percentile in writing, and the 65th percentile in math. Roughly 45% of students enrolled in EWIT-J did not make the oral reading fluency mid-year benchmark. In terms of poverty statistics, roughly 2/3 of J.M. Hill students come from families living at or below the poverty line. 61% of those students receive free or reduced lunch. So what does this poverty cause? How does it manifest itself? Well, the biggest is the at-risk factors for the student. The definition of at-risk is children who are likely to fail in school or in life because of their life's social or economic circumstances. The biggest factors here are the fact that the students are either very young, have single or low educational level parents, have parents who are unemployed, suffer abuse and neglect, have substance abuse in the family, come from dangerous neighborhoods, have low mobility, this is pertaining to social mobility and economic mobility, and have exposure to inadequate or inappropriate educational experiences. You can't talk about any one of these risk factors without mentioning all of them. They're all intertwined and they're all products of poverty. Here are some of the more prevalent negative effects of childhood poverty. First, when childhood neglect and family poverty are factored together, they have significant effects on the development of PTSD in youth. This is normally a condition that we associate with soldiers, but it can also come into play when people have traumatic experiences at home. Second, we have childhood family poverty as being a significant predictor of major depressive disorder. This one is self-explanatory in that depressed children are less likely to not only enjoy academics, but be able to participate in them. Third, family poverty and neglect are significant predictors of crime and future incarceration. Fourth, neglect, family poverty, and neighborhood poverty all have a negative effect on academic achievement. Next, poverty stresses family structures and relationships, thus negatively affecting childhood development. A big portion of this is having parents who, by necessity, have to devote most of their time to putting food on the table and therefore aren't able to foster a conducive learning environment for their children. And lastly, children living in poverty complete less schooling, earn less money, and work less ending up far behind their more affluent peers. So what can you do? First, you can be conscious of the effects of poverty and aware of your own biases regarding them. This is a big part of the service learning experience and the reflection that you'll be doing in order to discern and challenge your own preconceptions. Next, be sensitive to the children's needs. This can be hard at first, but the more you get to know your kids, the more you'll be able to identify what helps them more to learn the material. Third, offer emotional support. This is also something that's difficult to do right away, but once you learn more about your kids, you will be more able to identify with their problems and to help them through them. Lastly, help them feel secure and positive. A good portion of this would be positive reinforcement. You want to make them recognize when they've done something well or when they're achieving and doing things that are conducive to their learning and their success. If they're aware that they're succeeding, they're more likely to do it. Next, encourage and reinforce them that they're making progress. This comes back to helping them feel secure and positive. Basically, you just want to make sure that they know that they're accomplishing something. Help them see the benefits of learning. Hopefully, this will be a product of them being able to see what they're doing makes sense and is helping them. They can see the benefits of learning if they're actually making progress. So a big part of this is simply guiding them through the readings and doing it at their own pace. Next, make them feel important, engaged, and accepted. Don't shoot down their ideas. Give each one equal time to speak and to share their thoughts. Lastly, build a trustful and respectful relationship with them. What do you think are the limitations of what you can do as a tutor? Where do you think you feel like you could have the most positive impact? The impact, hopefully, of your activities as a tutor will be to improve their performance in school, to allow them to derive more enjoyment from academics, and to be greater engaged with the activities and the material, to be better behaved, to have improved interaction with their friends and peers, to have increased confidence and self-esteem, to possibly even maintain a better relationship with family, and hopefully to be less likely to abuse drugs or alcohol later on. Don't forget, don't just be a tutor, be a friend. So the following here are questions that you should think of and answer in your own free time. Your answers will most likely change by the end of tutoring, but it's good for you to think about these questions as you're dealing with students who come from households living in poverty.